Rise and shine, superstar. It's your favorite light coach, MB, in the building. And it's a great day to be alive. Man, it is a great day. Do you even believe that we're already over halfway through 2023? We just stepped up into this year and we're halfway through. Like, June is gone. It's gone. So how are your New Year's resolutions coming along? I just want to know how everything is going. Like, are you on track to hit your target? Did you kind of lose sight of your resolution and your goal somewhere back in February or March? Did you even set one? What I want to talk to you about is setting goals, and how can you set a goal that's going to help you actually achieve a goal. People, we set goals all the time, right? And we go through them in such a way that it's just like leaves in the wind because we don't really know how to set goals. But I want to talk to you about that today. I'm going to give you some real simple tips to help you set a goal that you actually can achieve as long as you follow these guidelines. You good? You in? Can I share this with you today? If not, go ahead and hop off. You don't have to listen. And send somebody my way who actually wants to set a goal and achieve the goal. So here we go. It's really simple. How do you set a goal that you know you're going to achieve? Your goal has to be SMART. S-M-A-R-T. SMART. Okay? And each letter stands for something that's going to help you make sure that you're setting goals that you know you can achieve. The first letter is S. Your goal has to be specific. So one of the reasons why we end up setting goals and we don't actually achieve them is because we are not able to relate to them. We don't really feel them because they're not specific. Like, some people will say, well, I want to get a new car. Okay, so is this a new car to you? Like, it's a used car from somebody else, but it's new to you? Or is it a brand new car off the lot? Is it a 2024? Or is it like a new 2020 that just happened to never be sold? What is your goal? Like, it has to be specific. What kind of car is it? Is it an actual car, like a 4-door? Is it a 2-door? Is it a van? Is it a soccer mom van? Is it a truck? What are you trying to get? When we set our goals, they have to be specific, because the more specific they are, the more obtainable they become. Like, the more you're able to feel and see exactly what it is that you want, so that you're not bamboozled or hoodwinked or thrown off track on your way to your goal. Like, you can say you want something. Imagine this. Imagine that you were watching a movie and it was rated so good that everybody went to go see it. And for some reason, though, it really wasn't a good movie. Like, the scenes were there, but the details were missing. In a forest, they hunted, they killed, they ate. And that was the end of the movie. Wouldn't you be disappointed and upset? Like, everything said that this movie was supposed to be great, and all they did was tell you this is the goal. The goal was to hunt in the forest, to kill whatever they were hunting, and to eat it. It has to be specific. You want to know what kind of forest it was. Was it murky? Was it a bright sunny day? How was the temperature? How was the environment? Was it easy to find whatever they were hunting? Is what they were hunting something that's common, or was it uncommon? Was it like, you want to know the details. The same thing is, you have to put that same energy into your goal setting. If you want a good movie or a good book or a good TV series to hold your attention, they're doing it with the storyline and the details in the storyline. So if you want your goals to hold your attention, then you got to make sure that you set specific goals. You got to detail those things. Like, when you take your car to the detailer, you want them in the crevices with Q-tips. Like, you want it clean. Set specific goals. Paint the picture of what it is that you actually want. If your goal is to lose weight, how much weight do you want to lose? Don't just say, I want to lose weight, and then you lose a pound. Technically, you've reached your goal. So be specific. Exactly how much do you want to lose? I want to lose 36.72 pounds. You don't have to be that specific, but the more specific you are, the more obtainable and realistic your goal becomes, and the more you're able to actually get closer to achieving it. So that's S. M, remember we're talking about goal setting, and you have to be smart when you set your goals. M, your goal has to be measurable. And when you measure things, what's the first thing that you think of? Numbers. The first thing you think of is numbers. Like, how can you measure something? How do you measure how tall you are growing up? How do you measure how much you weigh? How do you measure how much is fat versus muscle? All of these measurements, statistics in sports, everything in society is measured by numbers. So when you set a goal, is your goal measurable? Like, I want to be happier. That's a goal for some people. I want to be happier. Okay, how do you measure happiness? Can you calculate? Like, do you have a happy meter? I remember back in the day, we used to have the mood rings. I was always sad because the mood ring changed colors based off the temperature of your hands or your fingers. And guess what? My fingers are cold even when I'm sweating. So it didn't matter how I felt. I have a tendency to have cold phalanges. And so when I put my mood ring on, it would automatically turn to black. Like always. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I just set it under the lamp just to see what other pretty colors are on there. But you got to set something, like if your goal is to be happy, how can you measure happiness? What makes you happy? That's where you start. What are the things that make me happy? Is it music? Is it obtaining objects? Is it having better relationships with people? What really makes me happy? Then once you can pinpoint what makes you happy, find out how you can measure that in numbers. How can you measure that? Oh, I'm happy when I'm with my dog. Okay, so maybe you can spend specific time with your dog a day, maybe 20 minutes with your dog, just by yourself and the dog, and then you have 20 minutes of happiness. And that's 20 minutes more than you had yesterday. Just find a way to make it measurable. Now we're talking about SMART goals. S, it has to be specific. M, it has to be measurable. A, it has to be attainable. Like, don't go saying, let me tell you what you should do. Not what you shouldn't do, because most of us are doing what you shouldn't do. What you should do is set a goal that you know you can achieve. Now, a lot of times I talk about how you can dream, and you can dream big and colossal, and that's great. Because you can achieve those colossal dreams, but you have to make sure that you're setting your goal with the person that you are, who you're becoming at this moment in your life. So if you're right now in $100,000 in debt, and your goal is to be a millionaire by the end of the year, but you're still working at McDonald's or Walmart and you don't have anything else or any other way for money to come in on the side, you're not investing anything, is that really attainable? Is it really? I mean, what, you could win the lottery, but that's not a goal. That's just luck. That's just happenstance. So if you're $100,000 in debt, what could be a good attainable goal for you in the next 6 months? We're in July, so we're 5.5 months. We'll say 5.5 months. What's a good attainable goal? It could be, okay, to move from $100,000 to $90,000. Could you possibly cover up $10,000 in the next 5.5 months? That's roughly $2,000 a month. How can you set aside $2,000 a month or earn an extra $2,000 a month that can take your debt from $100,000 to $90,000 by the end of this year? You want it to be attainable. That's measurable. You got your numbers. It's specific and it's attainable. And then we want to talk about R. Is it relevant? Is the goal that you're setting relevant to who you are today? And is it relevant to who you want to be in the near future? Because you could be someone who's ideal in shape. You know, you've worked out, you got a good body, and you're like, well, I like my body the way it is, but I'm going to set a goal to gain 30 pounds of fat. Is that really relevant to what you're doing in life right now? And this is just a strange example. I understand, I get it. But I want you to kind of see from a simplistic, strange standpoint what it means to be relevant. So what is it that you're trying to do right now? Or what is it that you want to have accomplished by the end of the year? Because guess what? Even though over half of the year is gone, we still got 5.5 months left. That's a lot of time to do something that could change the trajectory of our future. So what is relevant to you in the person that you're trying or wanting to become now? That you can set a goal for the next 5.5 months that is going to get you there. Because it's all about being in stages. As long as we're taking action in the right direction consistently in stages, we're going to get to our point. We're going to get to that place that we want to be if we're patient with ourselves and we're setting goals that are relevant to what it is that we actually want. And so making sure that your goal is relevant for you, not what you think other people want, not what you think other people think, not what other people tell you they want for you, but make sure it's relevant for you. And lastly, when you're setting a goal, a SMART goal, you want to make sure that you have a time stamp on it. So you don't just say, I want to gain or lose 36 pounds and then just throw it out there. Okay, is that 36 pounds in the next 2 months, the next 2 years? Like, what are we really going after? Because let me tell you this, and you see this every time you turn your GPS on. You want to go to a destination, guess what it tells you? It tells you how many miles away it is from you and what time you're expected to be there. Even when you're traveling in your own city, you have an idea of what time you're expected to arrive at your destination. So why don't you have an idea of what time you're expected to arrive at your goal? If we want to be smart about our goals, and if we want to set goals that we can actually achieve and stick with it and stay committed to it, we got to put a timestamp on it. We have to have a deadline, so to speak, know when we expect to get there. Because once you know where you're going and when you expect to get there, you can start working backwards to see exactly what it takes to make this goal a reality for you. So be smart about your goals. Be specific. Make sure your goal is measurable. Make sure it's attainable, it's relevant, and you set a timestamp. So remember, the next time that you get ready to set a goal, regardless of how big or small your goal is, use the SMART method. Statistics show that when you use the SMART method, you're actually more likely to achieve the goals that you set.